Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I've brought you the book Wind on the Haunted Hill by Ruskin, and this is part 2. In this part, we'll know what happened to Usha when she was in the land or bazaar doing the weekly shopping. Thunder over the hills. Usha left for the bazaar at 2 in the afternoon. It was about an hour's walk. She went through the fields, now turning yellow with flowering mustard, and then along the saddle of the hill and up to the ruins. The path went straight through the ruins. Usha knew it well. She had often taken it to the bazaar to do the weekly shopping or to see her aunt who lived in the hill station. Wildflowers grew in the crumbling walls. A wild plum tree grew straight out of the floor of what had been once a large hall. Its soft white blossoms had begun to fall. Lizards scuttle over the stones while a whistling thrust, its deep purple plumage glistening in the soft sunshine, sat in an empty window and sang its heart out. Usha sang to herself as she tripped lightly along the path. Soon she had left the ruins behind. The path dipped steeply down the valley and the little town with its straggling bazaar. Usha took her time in the bazaar. She bought soap and matches, spices and sugar. None of these could be found in the village where there was no shop. A new pipe stem for her grandfather's hookah, an exercise book for Suresh to do his sumsin. As an afterthought, she brought him some marbles. Then she went to a Muchi's shop to get her mother's slippers repaired. The Muchi was so busy, so she left the slippers with him and said she would be back in an hour. She had 2 rupees of her own saved, and she used the money to buy herself a necklace of amber-colored beads from the old Tibetan lady who sold charms and trinkles from a tiny shop at the end of the bazaar. There she met her Aunt Lakhshmi, who took her home for tea. Usha spent an hour in Aunt Lakshmi's little flat above the shops, listening to her talk about the ache in her left shoulder and the stiffness in her joints. She drank 2 cups of hot, sweet tea when she looked out of the window and saw that the dark clouds had gathered over the mountains. Usha ran to her cobbler's shops and collected her mother's slippers. The shopping bag was full. She slung it over her shoulder and set out for the village. Strangely, the wind had dropped. The trees were still, and not a leaf moved. The crickets were silent in the grass. The crows flew around in circles and then settled down for the night in an oak tree. I must get home before dark, said Usha to herself as she hurried along the path. But already the sky was darkening. The clouds, black and threatening, loomed over the haunted hill. This was March, the month for storms. A deep rumble echoed over the hills, and Usha felt the first heavy drop of rain hit her cheek. She had no umbrella with her. The weather had just seemed fine a few hours ago. Now all she could do was tie an old scarf over her head and pull her shawl tight across her shoulders. Holding the shopping bag close to her body, she quickened her pace. She was almost running, but the raindrops were coming down faster now. Big, heavy pellets of rain. A sudden flash of lightning lit up the hill. The ruins stood out in clear relief. Then it was dark again. Night had fallen. I won't get home before the storm breaks, thought Usha. I'll have to shelter in the ruins. She could only see a few feet ahead, but she knew the path well and began to run. Suddenly, the wings sprang up and sent the rain lashing against her face. It was a cold, stinging spray. She could hardly keep her eyes open. The wind grew in force. It hummed and whistled. Usha did not have to fight against it. It was behind her now and helped her along up the steep path and on the brow of the hill. There was another flash of lightning, followed by a peal of thunder. The ruins loomed up before her, grim and forbidding. If you like this part of the story, please like, share, and comment below, and subscribe to my channel to get more awesome and lovely and interesting stories like these. Thank you.